That is the hardest part of that ring.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
The hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 105 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam. And can we get a little lockdown update? Sam, how are you getting on?
I'm all right. I've kind of got a chair that goes backwards and forwards now, so I can kind of rock in it like a madman.
It doesn't sound like you're all right. John, how are you getting on?
My back is hurting a lot because I've been sitting at the dining room table for weeks now. I feel like I'm turning into
See?
old. I'm turning into
Get
Undertaker.
a good chair. Get a good chair, man.
Breaking down.
And Brett, your back's probably fine, right? You work from home all the time.
Yes, and I'm drawing all the time, so I'm always doubled over.
Our
I'm
back's
good.
already ruined.
I'm good. I'm enjoying actually some of the sunny days as well.
Sunny
Oh,
is that
the
a
Sunny
Bret
Days
Hart?
promo.
There you go.
You're so on brand, Brett. It's unbelievable.
Right, we are here to talk about the show of shows, the biggest event of the year, the event that could not be cancelled, WrestleMania 2020, of course. Now, we've got an awful lot to talk about, and as you'll have seen by the episode title, we are splitting this into two nights, so we're going to try and be fairly swift, because even though we're going to release the podcast, it's separate days, we're recording this all in one night, so we've got a lot to get through. And we're very excited to do so. The last episode was episode 104, which was the hardest part of the ring draft 2019 results. John, you haven't been able to gloat in front of anyone. You've just been
No,
at
it
home.
feels weird. I completely forgot about that. You should have clapped me onto this podcast, right?
We should have.
Something.
Yeah, maybe we should have.
I don't think I've made enough of that, actually.
Well, there's still time. You've got the whole pod now.
Yeah, okay.
This podcast, we're going to talk about the first half of over 6 hours of WrestleMania, an event that was split into two nights because there was just too much wrestling. It was too jam-packed.
Too big for just one night,
Exactly.
according to WWE.
Yeah.
But not too big for one podcast. Oh, actually, yeah, it is. Don't ignore me.
There were matches at WrestleMania that couldn't have happened anywhere else. Baron Corbin versus Elias had to happen at WrestleMania.
I mean, I don't know what else you're expecting.
I know. I mean, that feud needed to come to it. There's no place else that it could have come to an end. Alistair Black, Bobby Lashley, same. Anyway, in our next episode, we will discuss Night 2, which was basically 3 hours of Edge versus Randy Orton. Should be fairly straightforward. But after this short break, we'll discuss Night 1 of WrestleMania 2020.
Let me tell you guys, that's the hardest part of the ring right there. That's where that steel goes down and a lot of, I'm going to tell you, you don't want to land right there.
WrestleMania 2020, or WrestleMania 36, as I should probably call it, was held at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, with an attendance of, Sam?
Zero miedo.
We had a comms team. Actually, sorry, back to the attendance. Does Grunt count as one?
I know. God, isn't he the most tone-deaf man on the planet?
He's also hardly ever there.
Well, yeah, true.
He wasn't there enough for me to skip forward the bits he was there.
I hate him. I hate him.
Big hands, though.
What, is that supposed to make me love him?
I'm just saying, he had very big hands.
Okay.
You not see that?
I did not notice that.
No, me either. Just you, Sam.
Just me.
We had a comms team of Michael Cole and JBL, or Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton. Just quickly, what did you guys make? Did you notice the occasional bit of dubbing edited in comms?
No.
I noticed the bit where sometimes they showed a replay and you could hear the comms in the background.
Yes.
That was weird.
Like Michael Cole shouting.
Yeah.
There was some stuff in this with the commentary which I really loved, though. Like, kind of Bailey kicking off at Michael Cole's commentary halfway through was amazing.
That's cool.
There are a couple of moments where Cole had definitely been asked to re-record stuff after the event. One of them in particular, I can't remember which match it was, where he described something as a parkour move.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it
Where was
Morrison?
That was Morrison.
Yeah,
John
Morrison doing parkour flips.
He sort of said, it's like a parkour. And then it came in and he was like, and parkour is this, and this. Obviously, he'd been asked to add that because maybe, Vince probably thought some people might not know what parkour is. And
to be fair,
there are a few things like that.
Was that a parkour move?
Not really.
Well, not, I mean, I don't know, your body moving from A to B happens in parkour.
Sure, but does it do like a load of sonic flips and stuff the whole way? I don't know.
I didn't think this is where this was going to go on this podcast.
Don't you have to shout parkour when you're actually doing it? For it to be
Yeah, you
parkour?
do. Yeah,
We've seen that episode of the US Office.
Yeah.
that's
Definitely
true.
a favourite. Anyway, yeah, I did notice a bit of dubbing. So that was the comms team, the attendance and the venue. The card for night one. What was it, Sam?
Okay, on the pre-show we had Cesaro versus Drew Gulak. Brett,
No,
did you watch it?
I went.
Oh,
I was
smart.
going to watch that one live, and then my internet or the network just stopped. So I was like, okay, I'll go to
It's a
bed.
message.
Fair enough.
I watched it in the background. It was all right.
Oh, did you?
It's
What-
very short. It's only
was
like
it?
3 minutes or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even bother with the pre-show because 4-minute matches for an hour of advertising just doesn't feel worth it.
No.
Main card, we had Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We had Elias versus King Corbin. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship. Daniel Bryan with Drew Gulak versus Sami Zayn with the Artist Collective for the IC title. Jimmy Uso versus Kofi Kingston versus John Morrison in a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens again versus Seth Rollins again, this time in a no DQ match. Goldberg versus Brawny Strongman and the Biker Taker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match.
Brawny strong man. I like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got called that at some point. Yes, well done. That is the card. Well done. Bit patronising there. Sorry, Sam.
Hey, it's a long card, man. I even forgot to say that Goldberg versus Braun Strowman was for a title as well, the Universal Championship. It didn't matter to them, so it's not going to matter to me.
I mean, it was clearly a huge deal. Before we go on, obviously we're going to talk about key matches, best of the rest, worst of the rest, and all that kind of stuff for night one. I feel like this conversation is going to come up, and rather than it sort of derails us talking about a particular match, maybe we just get it over with. I don't know if you noticed, guys, but this event happened in front of no crowd. What?
Oh, yeah.
I
I think WWE have been taking notes from Hardest Part of the Ring.
Yes. Obviously, there are some people who might talk about maybe it shouldn't have happened at all, given everything that's going on, but it did happen, and let's not even talk about that. But I want to know, John, what are your general thoughts on empty arena wrestling? Could you enjoy this, and how long did it take you to get into it?
I feel like this is the first time WWE have done it where it's felt okay. Like, I enjoyed both nights actually quite a bit. I'm glad they did it. I think they put a good show.
Okay, that's good. I know I kind of know from a little bit of a chat beforehand how Brett feels, so let's go. Sam, empty arena wrestling.
Ups and downs, I think. I think kind of when it worked well, it worked really well. I think kind of like it got across a lot of the wrestler's personality more than you'd probably hear in an 80,000 filled arena.
Yeah.
I feel like when it went badly, it went incredibly badly.
Okay. And Brett, are you all negative?
No, well, I'm not all negative. I don't mind the empty arena thing, but it certainly highlighted those who have great character and those who don't.
Yeah.
So when certain people are on screen, you really didn't notice because they're just amazing to watch. But then there were plenty of moments where it was just like, oh my God, they could really do with some crowd noise here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it was at its worst when like the big names came out and there was no reaction. Like especially in night two when like Brock and Cena came out. It's like,
but
this
there
feels
was
really weird.
Always also moments where the wrestlers weren't giving much character or noise in the ring. There was no crowd. And then there was big moments where the comm team weren't saying anything either.
Yeah.
It was just like,
that was odd.
Oh my God.
It definitely feels like there were times when they could have done something to help. Like, for example, when the ring announcer, when they're announcing the names, there's no need to go for the huge Braun Strowman, because then it's just dead.
I don't know. I kind of think it'd be weird if he just went and it's Braun Strowman.
But it's just weird getting no crowd response.
So
after.
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of like, when you're playing a video game, but you have all the individual sliders for different sounds, like background music, crowd noise, stuff like that. And one of them was just turned down to 0 and the rest of it was normal. And I don't know, there's definitely part of me that sort of liked it.
Yeah, I found that the first couple of matches, I was just like, oh, this is such a shame. This is just not right. And I couldn't really get into it that much. And then, especially the second match, which was Elias Baron Corbin. I doubt we'll even talk about that much. So I actually skipped through some of that match, the only match I did, because I thought, I don't know if I can hack this. But then I had this weird epiphany in my head, which was just like, actually, if I just treat this as theatre, as the theatre side of sports entertainment, and actually pretend I'm in a theatre where it's a big no-no to make any noise, and just
it's a no-no to make noise in the theatre?
Well, as you know, if you're going to a proper West End show, not a pantomime.
Oh, okay. Sorry, with your la-di-da theatre going.
You know what I mean? As in, you're watching and you're appreciating the art. Then I was like, okay, and in a way it was quite captivating to watch. And as you said, there are lots of times where there was really charismatic people where it was a pleasure to be able to hear them, and to be able to hear the strikes and things like that, which we'll get to.
Big time.
For some of the matches, I feel like it actually made me appreciate them more because I wasn't distracted by the crowd.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. And it felt like it didn't drag, like there wasn't loads of celebrating with the crowd and shots of them, with their new title with the crowd, because there was no crowd. So it meant that there were the gaps between matches. I know there were lots of adverts. They weren't that big, and it felt a bit quicker. It didn't, like, some of the stuff didn't linger, apart from a match we'll talk about on the next episode. But yeah.
I mean, I appreciated it being 3 hours long on this day.
Yeah, it's bonkers how many matches they fit into 3 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. But I felt like it would have dragged. If these matches had happened in front of a huge 80,000 crowd, it would have dragged a lot more, I feel.
Yeah.
Because the ramp would have been twice the size, for starters.
Shall we jump into the key matches?
Yes, Sam, you're correct to move us on. The first key match we're going to talk about, in fact, we'll mention all of them. We're going to talk about Becky versus Shayna for the Raw Women's Championship. We're going to do Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, the grudge match. We're going to do a huge moment for me personally. My man, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, Universal Championship. And then, of course, the main event of the Boneyard match. To start off with, Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Becky turning up in her massive truck. What do we think?
I like the truck.
The truck was amazing.
I'm not mad on it. I don't like it.
Again, with the sound of a crowd in the background would have been great.
Let's face it, though, we all sort of thought Chris Eubanks a bit of a prick for driving around Brighton in one.
No,
That is a deep cut reference.
it's very true.
You and your South Coast humour, feeling it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like the truck.
No. This
What about
was,
the match? No.
What about the match? Yeah.
Yeah, the match was good. I enjoyed it. I think kind of my one criticism, it might be burying the lead here, is that kind of it ended a bit sooner than I would have liked, and I'm a little bit sick of seeing Shayna lose to the same spot every time.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was really enjoying this match, and then it ended. I was like, what the hell just happened there? I wasn't ready for that.
And there was there was clearly no attempt from Shayna to get out of that either.
For sure.
She was just like laying there waiting for the count. It didn't look like she was stuck there. It would just look like, this is the point where I stop.
Yeah, my only takeaway from that is that I can assume that they're probably not finished with this feud yet. And normally I would go off the deep end with WrestleMania not ending a feud. But I think kind of under the circumstances, that's kind of forgivable in this situation.
I was going to say, I was reading online, who was it? Ryan Satin. He was saying that because there's a possibility that WWE might go on hiatus for a while because of, I don't know, some reason, who knows, that they're putting the belt on all the big names just in case, so they're still around to do big media stuff to keep the sort of ball rolling over, as it were.
Okay, interesting.
Which is why they maybe kept the belt on Becky. Because before this match, before the whole coronavirus thing, I thought sure that Becky was dropping to Shayna at this.
Yeah, I got to admit, I thought Shayna was going to be taking the title here, just because it's kind of weird to have Becky with the title for an entire year. I mean, I got this completely mixed up because I thought Charlotte was going to lose as well. So,
yeah, true.
Yeah. This was the first match. This was the third match of the night, but the first one where I really did enjoy being able to hear the sound of the chops and of the strikes, because it just shows how they really do go for it. I wonder if any of them were sort of going for it a little bit more. And in fact, another thing we didn't talk about with no fans, I kept on thinking, God, they're not getting any opportunity for any communication, are they?
No, it must have been really hard. I was wondering how they did that, actually. It must have been hard.
Unless they were doing it and it was edited out or something. But
Maybe.
But yeah, as a whole, it just was a shame not to have the crowd there, because it's just such a big match and a big moment for Shayna to come out of WrestleMania. But sorry, I'm not going to say that for every match. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought that move where Shayna bashes people, well, Becky here against the desk, looks brutal, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that weird kind of power bomb sort of set up, and she swings them into things.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really goes
that
for it.
looked really
good.
nasty. Yeah, it did look nasty.
But yeah, Becky retains. I don't really have a problem with that, personally.
No, I was
I'm
disappointed.
fine with that.
I was disappointed. I was really hoping Shayna was going to go over. Like, I feel she's been
Shayna
so
will
good.
get her time, though.
Yeah, I just think the way it ended is the way it's a shame that Shayna didn't, because like I can see Becky Lynch having to face, you know, a real tough opponent, and it would really cement her position to defeat that person, you know, and in true Rocky style, you know, you club a lang or something, someone unbeatable, and you go and beat them, you know, it really puts her at the top. But winning like that doesn't do it, so there's clearly, like John was saying, other issues on why they did it that way.
Yeah, it just feels
I think they've got
weird.
longer plans.
Yeah, I mean, after sort of Elimination Chamber, and, you know, Shayna going over so strong there, just feels weird now.
I tell you what, though, I reckon Shayna probably, if it does happen, Money in the Bank winner.
Oh, that'd be good. I'd be happy with that.
I think that'd be pretty damn good as well. I'd like that.
Okay. Just quickly, this is for Brett. I have a note here because when I was watching this, it was at the time when we had the address from our glorious Queen. But basically, yeah, obviously the Queen spoke to the nation Sunday night, guys. And I made a note.
I thought you were
here.
talking about Stephanie McMahon there. I was like, what?
No, but I made a note that the Queen, I thought, did a sick promo. But it was also, I watched it just after Baron Corbin. I wondered, Brett, who do you dislike the most, King Corbin or Queen Elizabeth?
Ooh, good question.
That's a great question.
Who? Probably Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, good answer, Brett.
Because, like, you know, Baron Corbin, I might not love the guy's wrestling, but he spoke out with concussion protocol and stuff. So, you know, like, there's obviously a decent guy there.
The Queen's done fuck all for years.
Well, one's an actor playing a role, the other's from America.
Yeah.
No, one's a space lizard.
I think that's all we need on that.
I think, you know, there's so much that could be done, but a speech really doesn't do anything for anyone.
I think you'd be surprised, but I can totally appreciate it doesn't do much for you. But
I think you've obviously forgotten Austin 316.
I reckon there might be a lot of old people who potentially may not have been taking it as seriously as perhaps they are now that they've seen their beloved Queen on the telly.
But maybe they would have taken it seriously if our Prime Minister had actually taken it seriously from the get-go. But that's getting into politics.
Cut the mic.
Guys.
And that's a big diversion.
I should say that, listeners, I said before this, right, guys, we've got 2 podcasts to do. Let's try and keep this concise. And
why did you get him started, Adam? Why?
You baited me.
What he's
And
like.
also, we don't know what's going to happen. We shouldn't be talking about the Prime Minister. This podcast is going to come out, you know, in 12 hours' time or something.
What? And so we can't say anything bad about Boris?
Well, what if he's died?
Because trust me, I've got plenty I could say bad about Boris.
Oh, your voice nearly went. You're getting emotional.
Do you know what I really love, guys? Kevin Owens
Why
versus Seth
are you
Rollins.
doing this, Adam?
I know. I derailed that. If anybody else had done that, I'd be well annoyed. Keth Rollins. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. It wasn't for a title, but that's fine. Sam, how do you feel about the whole Monday Night Messiah gimmick?
I like it a lot, actually. It's kind of it's leaning into the CrossFit Jesus thing. Seth Rollins is a dislikable guy.
He is,
he's got a terrible sort of Twitter game. He's just a bit of an arrogant dick, and I think kind of that serves him really well when he's playing a heel character. I quite like this Monday Night Messiah gimmick.
I loved his ring gear.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Lots of hardest part of the ring action in this match, which I enjoyed. I think we're going to have some of those clips in this episode, including quite early on that huge Falcon Arrow from Rollins.
Love a Falcon Arrow.
Yeah, that looked particularly good. I mean, there was obviously one huge moment we're going to talk about relates to, that relates to this match in a minute. But the first part of the match before it went to no DQ, what did you make of it, Brett?
Oh, well, I was enjoying this match. I love Kevin Owens, and I thought this was thus far being the best match of the night. And I thought it was going to be, a barnstormer, and then it sort of ended, and I was like, oh, crap. And then it went to no DQ, and I was like, oh, I'm all right with that.
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was good, because it was going to be a real dampener on a decent match.
Yeah. Agreed, Sam?
Yeah, 100%. Like, this was one of those matches where I think kind of having an empty arena actually benefited how good both of these performers are. Like, kind of like talking shit the whole time through the match. Like, no break.
Yeah, just staying in character the whole time as well. It's just
Kevin Owens calling Seth a little bitch as well. That's just... That was a
when
great
he's on the
moment.
floor.
Yeah.
You're always going to be a bitch.
I think Seth called him a fat fuck as well.
He did.
Fat piece of shit.
He did.
This was my match of the night. I absolutely loved this match. I thought
It was a
brilliant.
banger.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. It was a really good match.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely my favourite Kevin Owens one for a very long time. My favourite Seth Rollins one for a very long time.
Yeah, I agree with both of that. Yeah.
But that's what I love about... I didn't go into this WrestleMania expecting to have any matches like this where I'd be like, that was a fucking great match, or one of my favourite matches from a particular person in ages. I really just thought this crowd thing would have a problem, would be a huge problem. But you're right, being able to hear them both and really watch closely. And like you said, no distractions, no pricks in the crowd, no stupid signs, no beach balls. It was great. And these two in particular, so good to watch.
We want table chants as well.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome, or fight forever. Like, just two people having a fight.
Yeah.
One person jumping off a WrestleMania sign onto another.
There you go.
How big was that WrestleMania sign? It was like the whole size of the Performance Center. It was huge.
It was amazing.
So good.
And the greatest thing about that is that they might have been tempted, like they definitely did with a couple of other spots throughout the night, and they have done on Raw and SmackDown, is to do some sort of camera trickery and maybe get him land onto something a bit softer. You saw exactly what the move was, and you saw how he landed it. And I thought Rollins was really badly winded, or it was just incredible acting.
The whole thing was
Oh, yeah. No, that was also my favourite moment, was after that, Seth Rollins face on the floor making a sound.
Yeah.
That was just that was amazing. That was hilarious.
It was even after that when Kevin dragged him back into the ring and gave him the stunner, and he just collapsed like a bag of shit, basically.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do the big floppy oversell. He just crumpled. It was really cool.
I think kind of what I really love about Kevin Owens wrestling a lot of the time is he is clearly an Attitude Era fan, like through and through, and you can see it in so much of his wrestling, like the moves he uses and the way he wrestles.
Love his moveset. Love it. It's one of my favourites.
This jump off the WrestleMania sign to me was like a love letter to Mick Foley, like in the way he wrestles.
I think Kevin Owens is back to his best.
I don't know about that, because I think heel Kevin Owens is his best.
I don't know. I think this whole feud with Seth has been brilliant.
Face Kevin Owens is definitely still a heel. Even when he's a face, he's still he's still got that sort of like prick attitude that pisses everyone off. But it's just, he's more likable than Seth Rollins.
This it's not hard. This is a match which a title belt would have gone a very long way.
Yeah, even like Intercontinental, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
but then this is a match on a WrestleMania card where this is the kind of match that isn't a title match that you want, because it didn't need a belt. I don't think it needed a belt at all.
Yeah, no, it didn't need it. It's just kind of like, it feels like both of these wrestlers, like, say what you like about Seth Rollins, he's a fucking good wrestler.
Yeah.
And like, both of these guys should be kind of in the main picture, is what I would say.
And if it wasn't for a load of old, useless guys, they probably would be.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Braun Strowman and Goldberg, eh?
How very dare you.
Brawny strong man.
Actually, so I was going to say, Adam, is that the match was 2 minutes, 10 seconds long. So do you want to spend that long talking about it?
Yeah, so Braun Strowman versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship. I was quite surprised when it even happened in the card. I mean, that sort of proved that it wasn't... You would have thought that the two main titles would be the two main events.
Yeah, good thing it wasn't, right?
So we had 3 spears, 4 power slams, and that's it. And now I need to
3
fill
of the shittest
2 minutes.
spears I have ever seen.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Some of the shittest power slams I've ever seen
Yeah.
as well. There was no running. It was just...
Well, he ran for the last one. It was a
Sort of ran.
terrible...
He did a little circle.
It was an awful match.
Worst match of the
Fucking
weekend.
garbage.
Well, you say worst match of the weekend. It almost feels like there was a repeat on night 2, I would say.
Yeah.
No. This is one of the worst matches I've ever seen. It was awful.
This was awful, but like Sam said, how long was it? 2 minutes and...
2 minutes 10.
I got no problem with that.
Oh, come on.
After a match on night 2, happened. That when we get to that podcast, I'll moan about that.
Yeah,
but this
Brett,
being shit, but only being 2 minutes long, I can handle that.
That's the whole point, though. That it wasn't after the match on night 2. That's not how time works. we hadn't seen that match yet.
No, I said I'll get to that on the thingy. But after seeing both shows, this isn't as bad as...
So when I say kind of like when they did well, they did really well. When they did bad, they did really bad. This is them doing really bad. Like, this whole situation is just a shit show. Like, Goldberg shouldn't have had the belt to begin with.
No.
Having a 2-minute match on a WrestleMania card is just an insult to the belt and to, like, all of the wrestlers beneath it as well.
Yeah.
It insults Braun Strowman, who is better than a 2-minute match with a 50-year-old man. It's just
Also,
garbage. I mean,
Braun Strowman, who just dropped the IC title, here, have a shot at their main title.
yeah, like, you don't think it gets worse for Braun Strowman after tag teaming with a 9-year-old at a WrestleMania, but somehow they topped it. So
I do feel bad for Braun as well, because I don't hate Braun. I quite like him. You know, he's put in the shift, and to be given this, I mean, I want to be able to celebrate his championship belt win, you know, rather than be like, this is awful.
Well, how do you
but
think
I don't think
feel?
I can do that with this.
Yeah, I was sort of... I mean, things could be worse for Braun Strowman. He has got the Universal title. I don't think it's like the worst situation ever to be in. But yeah, this should have been a huge moment. We've been talking about it for years, how maybe they should have put the belt on him a couple of years ago, really. But I knew this time was coming at some point, and I wanted to be able to celebrate it. And
Yeah.
I saw a spoiler for this. So I was on Instagram doing like a work thing, and then I clicked off and I saw Braun Strowman going, "I did it," and holding the belt. And I really never expected that to be the case. I was convinced Goldberg was going to retain.
I like to think that Braun literally texts you like, "Hey Adam, I know you've believed in me since day one.
Yeah.
This one's
Fellow
for you,
Adam.
buddy.
This
for
sort
you
of
and Nicholas."
makes like that Saturn point seem true, doesn't it? Because Goldberg's not going to be doing WWE press with the belt, is he?
Well, yeah.
Well,
maybe.
obviously Reigns was supposed to win.
Yeah, which is even more bonkers, right? It feels like Reigns going over again at WrestleMania, giving the belt again at WrestleMania.
Well, there's no crowd to boo.
Yeah.
I mean, the one good takeaway from this is that kind of the ends do sort of justify the means in the fact that they've got Goldberg out of the picture. They've got the belt on someone who's a legitimate title holder. Build from there.
Yeah.
Put him in a good feud with someone and just do something with it.
This match put me in such a bad mood when I watched it, and even just talking about it now, it's put me in a bad mood.
I'm so worried that his whole title reign is going to be in front of no fans.
First Raw back.
I mean, they could have all the people in the arena and it'd still be in front of no fans of his.
Well, that's just that's
Patently
not fair
untrue.
at all, is it? Yeah. Anyway, one little shout for Goldberg's Grey Stubble. John, surely you like that bit.
I think he looks great, and I was really
There you
excited
go.
when he walked out. I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get it why people like Goldberg, because when he gets on TV, like the ratings go up. That's why they keep bringing
Did
him
you
back.
see Goldberg's locker room? Was the conference
Yeah.
room
Yeah.
that Randy Orton and Edge ended up in?
Oh dear, we know the Performance Centre inside out now.
Yeah.
Okay, final key match, if you can call it a match, was
Yeah, you can.
the Boneyard match, a short film by The Undertaker and AJ Styles. Did we all absolutely love it?
No, I fucking hated this.
Oh,
Get off!
Brett.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I loved it too. Come on, Brett,
No,
you start. You go. You go.
I
Come on, Brett.
hated it. I just, it wasn't mega imaginative. It just like, there was just loads of just punches, throw you against
was a
this,
fight.
punches,
Few kicks.
Eventually, a few kicks. It just went on for ages as well. I was not loving
Brett.
this at all.
Brett.
At all. It had nothing on like Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. Nothing on that.
Final deletion stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the same. I like them both, actually. I think they did an amazing job with this. It hid all of the bad stuff about Undertaker we've seen over the last 5 years. It made him look like a legitimate badass again.
Oh, except for all the dodgy trash talking.
American badass.
I love that.
Oh, it was so dodgy.
What I really loved as well is that this felt like a Mark Calloway match, like the first time we've seen him, and then he sort of became the Undertaker halfway through the match with all the cosmic power stuff, and I really loved that. It felt really personal, and it was a great story.
Yes.
Like his promo on Raw the week before was killer as well. I was like, he's back, people, get him back.
Yeah. Preach it, John.
Oh dear.
Man, this match was immense. It was so fucking good. Like the only thing it was missing was Fred Durst.
I wrote that down, Sam. I just thought, if only, as he came in on the bike.
I have seen fan edits online, people removing the Metallica and adding in
I
the
bet
Limp Bizkit.
you've watched those with your trousers down.
I may have enjoyed it.
I mean, Brett, did you not even like the first bit where the hearse came up and the coffin came out with the druids, and then it was AJ in the coffin?
And AJ laughing.
I liked AJ laughing, but yeah, it ended at that point.
Okay, here's a question then for you, Brett. Would you rather have seen AJ versus Undertaker in the ring at the Performance Centre?
No.
Then it's a success.
No, because I would rather have seen AJ take on someone else.
Can we just point out that Undertaker has canonically killed off Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles?
Yeah, he tombstone one of them on top of the metal roof, didn't he? That was
and then set it on fire. Like, they are canonically
dead
in the WWE universe. Dead. The next time they come back, I want them to be like Liu Kang zombies.
It would be great if they do come back and AJ's the new dead man.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I'd be up for that.
That'd be great.
If this is the last ever Undertaker match, what a way to go out. We know it won't be, but
trouble is, if he does this same like another shot thing where they can edit it and hide, do you know what? I'd be up for that again.
If they do this and they put him against Bray Wyatt and they give Bray Wyatt creative control, I'm there.
Oh, that would be really good. That would be really good.
This is going to spoil tomorrow's pod.
No. Let's not talk about that.
Okay, fine. But you're going to get grilled, Brett. Just be ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Be ready.
I can't believe this. I think this is the best use of Undertaker for, 6 years?
Probably
since
longer.
He lost to Brock, probably, right?
Yeah. That was 2013, I think. Oh, no, that was Cena. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, yeah. I completely agree.
I love the fact as well, I read that apparently all of the trash talking was ad-libbed. And
perfect.
That wasn't really planned. And I thought it did work really nicely. And especially because we saw quite a few other matches where we were calling out for some chat or some talking to fill that silence. I thought it worked
100%. Yeah, like kind of, I really enjoyed the fact they're like calling each other Alan and Mark. Yeah. And just kind of like really just kind of, it grounded what was quite a fun, just silly match. I'm not sure they know what a shovel is.
No,
I'm pretty sure that was a stick.
I think
it's taken ages to dig that grave with that stick.
Yeah, it really
also, why did the Druids attack Undertaker? Aren't they on his side?
Also, didn't they miss a trick not having Gallows and Anderson being those two guys from the start? Like, they should have been in robes. They should have been the two guys that came out of the car and got AJ out. It was a bit weird they just turned up in their gear.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow.
Oh, what a great match.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Really surprised.
Unbelievable.
Especially after the Braun Goldberg thing, it put me in such a good mood. I was like, this is brilliant.
Same.
Well done.
Well Brett's
done,
right.
WWE.
It wasn't really a wrestling match. There were barely any wrestling moves, but as a spectacle.
I mean, the thing is that Undertaker's an old man. He can't do...
Exactly.
He's not athletic.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, like, unless you get a time machine, this is what you're going to get out of The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, yeah, if they're going to use him like this.
Exactly. 100% right. No other opinions allowed.
Brett,
best of the rest. Talk about something you did actually enjoy, please.
Something I did enjoy. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed Asuka and having her have no audience to cover over her like dialogue throughout the match. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought Asuka and Kairi Sane are so much fun. Like, Nikki Cross is mental. That's great. I actually thought, while I do enjoy Alexa Bliss, of all of them, she sort of suffered in this.
She was doing more facials and more sort of standard stuff that perhaps you'd do during
Yeah, and she's usually good with the talking, so it was a bit of a surprise. But someone like Asuka's just so entertaining that I just think that was my first moment of like, oh yeah, it doesn't really bother me there not being an audience.
That was the first match.
Yeah, and that was before the next match, and then I was like, okay, maybe there are problems with there being no audience.
Yeah. It was a good choice for the first match, I think, to have people who are so vocal and fun.
Yeah, and so theatrical. I mean, like, the Japanese wrestlers are, like, with Nakamura and stuff as well. They're so visually and verbally, theatrical that it really works. Yeah.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I thought this was a really good match, actually. I feel like maybe it ended a little bit abruptly.
Yeah.
Again, kind of like, I think maybe that was a criticism I have across a lot of these matches over the card in general. But I thought kind of like both teams really bought it. It was enjoyable to watch.
Like, it was. And the thing was, like, Asuka and Kairi sort of dominated, and then it ended with, like, 2 moves.
Yeah.
Which just didn't make any sense to the match.
I think kind of overall, though, like, they've put themselves in a good position where they've got Kairi established on the roster now to maybe go on and do stuff. They've got Asuka where, if they want to, they can push her in a singles department or a tag team department. She's such a versatile wrestler. They both are. They've just, kind of, WWE have like a tendency to maybe fuck up people from NXT as they come onto the main roster. And they've done well by Kairi Sane, by kind of having her attached to Asuka and having this tag team run.
Yeah.
John, best of the rest for you?
I really, really enjoyed Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Me too.
Me too.
I love the stuff they're doing with Sami Zayn at the moment. And I really love the start of this match where he just wouldn't stay in the ring and Daniel Bryan had to chase him around.
Yeah. And you could hear Cesaro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, again, in this one, that you could hear such great talkers.
Yes.
Apart from Nakamura.
Yeah. Also, like, it was super stiff as well. Daniel Bryan was kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He really was.
God damn. Like, if
slaps.
there's one person who benefited from the empty arena and how much you actually hear, like, how hard they hit people, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Man, what a monster.
I loved Drew Gulak as well, doing the coaching. Get those hands ready, Daniel. All that stuff is really cool.
Those two are so good together, aren't they? They're brilliant.
They're doing a really good job with those two. There's been teasing as well of bringing Chad Gable into the mix too.
Which so good.
Imagine that as a stable.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd be on board.
Pedigree.
It's not what they'd be called, Adam.
Okay.
I was just going to say, I love the fact Drew Gulak being there just like, in his pants.
Yeah.
He's not in the match. But, I just take my jacket off and then I'll beat the guys in my pants.
He's always ready.
The thing is, the warm-up that they do at the beginning of the match as well is the warm-up that Hiroki Goto and I can't remember who else does on New Japan.
Oh, cool.
I like that. I like the look of that, the warm-up, the sort of chest slams, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
What about the suicide dive that Daniel Bryan did?
Oh, nearly went over the barrier.
He smashed his head and neck into the barricade. Oh.
Don't you just want to like just turn up there and be like, Daniel, just be careful, man. We've just got your back.
Yeah.
I think his contract might be up soon. I wonder what's going to happen there.
Surely he's going to stay on WWE.
I would think so, yeah.
He's got a daughter with a Bella. He's tied in.
But you never know. You never know.
I don't know.
It's true. Yeah, John Moxley is with Renee Young, so
he might be creatively frustrated. He has.
I don't know. I think
he's had some good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but he's had some bad stuff too.
I get the feeling he gets pretty much free reign.
Yeah, I think he's loving life at the moment because he's basically just getting to wrestle like his favorite wrestlers from the indie scene, and just kind of like build events with them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan was on my list, but my number one pick for best of the rest was the triple threat ladder match.
They did great job with this match
for the tag titles. Now, obviously, bloody weird. I think Sam, you said, what's that? You obviously got a bit of a problem with solo wrestlers, but apparently the Miz has got coronavirus. So
that sucks. But just don't have the match.
Well,
don't defend.
But it was great.
Team title. It was a good match.
Was weird that it was just singles, but yeah.
But what can you do? I think you. I mean, you're right. You could say don't have the match, but I really, really enjoyed the match for what it was.
Fair enough. I think it was a good match. Like, independently, I think kind of these three good wrestlers, it was a good match. But what can you do? You can postpone a ladder match until, I don't know, say Money in the Bank, which is all about ladder matches.
True.
And just have it then.
Yeah.
I think it was worth it just for the ending. The ending was awesome.
So
It's
funny.
John
finish.
Morrison flying off the ladder with the belts in hand and taking that sick bump as well on his back. Oh,
I just thought it was full of creativity. And obviously, Kofi getting his WrestleMania moment with the old springing through. Well, he had loads of moments, but going through the ladder, loads of stuff that he did was beautiful.
We've got to see some parkour.
Exactly. Obviously, Morrison's tightrope walking is hugely impressive.
Yeah, that was...
And then the Spanish Fly from that was beautiful. Kofi's paint by number tights. Do you love those?
Yeah, he's filling them in.
Yeah.
Really like those. And this was a match where it just kept me captivated throughout, and the crowd not being there didn't matter because it was like spot after spot. Loads of good fun. I love the fact that all three of them just got a ladder straight away.
Yep.
yeah.
This was a decent match.
Yeah.
It was really good, especially from like a load of people that normally do tag matches to do a singles match.
Yeah. I love the
It's really
respect.
impressive.
The respect between Kofi and Jimmy Uso. I mean, those guys, their history is just incredible. But yeah, thought it was really good.
Solid stuff.
Who else? Anybody else not done a best of the rest?
I've not done one.
Go on then. Have you got one? Have you got another one we haven't talked about?
Yeah, I like Seth Rollins versus the giant crab in the opening.
I was like, what?
Good, man.
Yeah, I mean, that opening, we got to see it twice. I loved seeing it on night 2
Yeah,
again.
it was really, really fucking long.
It was weird, wasn't it? With the English.
Was it Johnny Depp?
No.
Was it meant to... Oh, I don't know.
No, they did. He referenced him
Yeah,
like he was
well, that
supposed to
was in
sound
the-
like Jack Sparrow, but
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was rubbish. Let's move on to Worst of the Rest. We can talk about more of Worst of the Rest.
yeah, very long. Worst of the rest. John, have you got a match that you want to talk about?
I'm going to leave the match because I want to talk about Gronk and how I never want to see him on TV ever again.
Well, he's
He's a
24/7 champ
24/7
now.
champ.
Oh God, fuck that guy.
He's possibly the most tone-deaf man in all of America.
Oh, he just seems awful, doesn't he? He's like,
Yeah.
oh, just tone it down a
So
little bit,
obnoxious.
dude.
Yeah, really annoying. Really annoying.
And you know he's going to be in a tag team with Mojo soon, and
Oh my god.
they're going to be storming up the main event roster in no time.
Oh dear.
Ugh.
Any other worst of the rest to add to that? I mean, I just had Elias versus King Corbin because I literally did just skip through because I just couldn't care
was
less. I couldn't care less.
It was shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't great. There were fucking a million adverts in this.
Oh, the same Snickers
So
one.
That's what I was gonna
Snickers,
say.
5 Hour Energy. What else was it?
I mean, we
Just
should point out
fuck
to the
off.
listeners that Sam was watching live, so you couldn't skip through the ads like we could.
I fell asleep actually in the end.
Yeah, I didn't skip through the ads. I couldn't be bothered.
You love them, don't you? Brett?
No,
You
I
love
was
it.
just like, but I could just say one thing. Guy wakes up in the middle of the night because his baby's crying. You don't want 5 hours of energy.
Yeah, that seems.
You want to
reckless,
get the
doesn't
baby
it?
to sleep and go straight back to sleep, not be like wired for the next 5 hours.
I don't know if he's giving that baby the 5 hour energy.
If you're up, you're staying up.
Yeah, I
my
literally didn't watch
goodness.
any of the ads. It was great. It was like
Oh,
10 second
God,
fast
there
forward,
was
10 second fast forward, 10 second fast forward.
So many.
There was
adverts.
one good advert though with Zack Ryder and Ric
God,
Flair.
and Ric Flair, yeah.
Oh,
I
another
saw a
Snickers one.
second
Going
of
the
that.
woo 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 all the
Just
time. I like
Sounds
that.
shit.
I think kind of I was getting angry at it just because it's like, you know what? I'm like, we pay for the WWE network. We pay to watch this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit shitty that for something that you pay to use that they still serve you ads.
Although I suppose you pay for Sky TV and you still get ads.
Touche.
Silence.
I don't pay
I've done
for
you
Sky
all there,
TV.
didn't I? Done ya.
Checkmate.
I was just thinking that all of the listeners get this podcast for free and they still get ads.
Oh,
Oh
you.
my days.
Cool. That's my worst of the rest.
Yeah.
Is Adam's hosting.
You can call me ads from now on, listener.
Oh God.
That's weird.
Star performer.
Thank you. Undertaker.
Undertaker.
is my star
Biker
performer.
Taker. Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
Taker as well.
Kevin Owens.
Go do one, Brett.
Fucking hell. Taker deserves it. I mean, who knows how long that took to film and how many takes there were.
They've been working on that since Saudi Arabia.
Although, I say that, apparently they filmed from 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. It was a night shoot. I read top 6 facts about that, about the Boneyard match. One of which was the hand at the end. Apparently, Triple H had the idea to involve like a fake hand at some point, and it was Undertaker's idea to put the glove on it and have it sticking out at the end like that with the callback.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was EC3.
Cool.
Oh, they're never going to unbury him.
So this should be interesting. Giving an overall rank for night 1. In the next podcast, we'll give an overall rank for night 2, and then we will work out the average, I think. But for night 1, such a weird one to score, isn't it? I was sort of making down star ratings, making notes of star ratings for each match, and I was kind of having to forget the fact there's no crowd and just focus on the match. But I don't know if you can do that for the whole thing. Sam?
It is hard, so it's not like you're going to go back and watch this again, is it? Because it's weird.
Maybe.
I think this is going to be a curiosity piece that people are going to watch back in the future and just be like, remember that time when they did WrestleMania with no crowd?
Yeah,
it's so intriguing, and it's so interesting to watch in many ways. And I think we've got to give them credit for some of the stuff they did.
100%. Like I do got to give them credit. Like, they put on a good show. They put on an enjoyable show. Most of the matches were the best they could be under the circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say that's an 8.5 for me.
Oh, that is huge, but I don't know if I could argue. John, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think even in the matches that I didn't like, except for Braun and Goldberg, I think everyone put like their absolute all into everything. I think they really went all out to do the best they could. So I'm going to go 8.5 as well.
Wow. Okay. Brett?
I will go. I'm between 6.5 and 7.
So
6.75?
Go. Yeah. Can we do that? Go for that.
Hey, Sam's
be
got
as
a
granular
calculator.
as you want.
Do what you like. Yeah, 8.5 does seem a bit high. I really appreciate what it was in the circumstances. So I will go for a 7.75. So what's the average, Sam?
The average is 7.875.
That's damn good. Now, last year, WrestleMania got a 7, an average of 7.
Well, this score might go down yet.
Yeah, you're very right. Just having a look, 7.785. Hell in a Cell 2018 got 7.8, and we got 7.7 for WrestleMania 8. So, do you remember that one? WrestleMania 8?
Brett Roddy.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
7.7 we gave that. So anyway, yeah, 7.8.
So we are.
7.5.
Confirmed. Goldberg is officially better than Bret Hart.
Oh, don't even. The guy that stopped him wrestling. You arsehole.
Yeah, he did, and he kicked him in the head.
Oh my God. We're riding up Brett tonight.
Yeah.
We really are. Okay. I mean, it's safe to say we'll never forget this WrestleMania. I think that's fair. Let's have a break. Let's see what some listeners thought of the whole thing.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my God, and driven into the apron.
That is the hardest part of the ring right there, and creates a huge opening for Becky Lynch.
And where steel meets wood. Now back inside the ring.
John, hit us with
Hello.
some comments on night 1.
Yes, so we've got Graham Hughes. He says, had the overall feel of a very special Raw taping rather than the marquee pay-per-view event we look forward to each year. That being said, I think the 2-night format will help make it seem like a grander event, along with the more cinematic matches.
Yeah.
The Boneyard match was very inventive, fun to watch, and the perfect way to play to Undertaker's available strengths. I was certainly invested in how the in-match story played out, fitting tribute to further cement the legacy.
You're right, Graham.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
I like the 2-night format. I'm going to say it. I think it's a good idea.
Well, I
tough.
don't want to see it if it's like 2 6-hour events.
No, I don't. I want 2 3-hour events.
I mean, we're saying that having got to the end of the first podcast. We then have to record a second podcast and then edit it, and, you know.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
If we're being purely selfish in terms of the work we've got to do, I'd just like one event to talk about.
Okay, I'm going to carry on. WrestlePlug says, utter garbage until the ladder match hijacked the show with a world-class car crash. Rollins versus KO was immense and had that ROH vibe. Universal title, fuck off. And the Boneyard match was without doubt a match for the ages. A masterpiece of cinematography and a fitting tribute.
Brett, thoughts?
I mean, I don't even think it was that well shot or anything. It didn't look amazing. I don't get this. What was I watching?
I mean, if you compare it to like a blockbuster film, then no. I mean, it was pretty shoddy at times.
Yeah, but I've seen plenty of low budget films that,
well, that's very true,
shoot much better than that was, and they've got like top notch equipment at their disposal.
I want to watch it again, but with you, Brett, just to find out like what points you just were hurt by it.
Also,
AJ lost.
Amir, what about the Sami Zayn Bryan match? That was great. Utter garbage before the tag match.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that either.
Okay, so Stone Pitbull. No, not that one. Boneyard match was the single greatest thing I have ever seen. I take back my comment about Taker ruin his legacy. The Universal title match, I just did that. The Universal title match was the laziest piece of crap I've ever seen. Kick, spear, slam, pin.
It's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find the things I teach you are sure to beat you.
He said it was never going to be good, but that was shocking. I completely agree. It was fucking garbage.
Yeah, it was. And a second paragraph?
I didn't like the first few matches. Respect the work rate, but without a crowd, they weren't good. The ladder match and Seth Owens was good. Does cleaning yourself with a ladder match hurt more without the adrenaline of the crowd?
Yeah, Aleister Black came out on Instagram today, or maybe it was yesterday, but basically just saying, look, you know, it's WrestleMania. We had to do it. We wanted to do it, and we tried our best, whether you hated it or loved it. But, you know, it hurt more. It was tougher and all this stuff. Because, yeah, you're not getting that adrenaline from the crowd.
I bet it fucking hurt him fighting Bobby Lashley. That dude's a beast.
Very true.
He's a big lad.
Yeah.
Adam Evans Pringle. Really enjoyed tag ladder match. Owen versus Rollins. Taker versus AJ was brilliant. Should do more of that. Jake, AEW cutscenes have the same vibe. It's way cooler. More, please.
On those Jake the Snake AEW cutscenes, have you noticed they're just using CG fire?
Oh,
yeah, it did look a bit. They're great cutscenes, and he's so good, isn't he? So sinister, Jake.
He is, but fire's not expensive. Use real fire.
Maybe he can't in front of Jake because he's so doused over the years. I know it's clean these days, but those years and years of abuse can't really get out of you that fast. And finally, Capital Clan Face. Mania Night 1 was brilliant. The opening women's tag match, perfect way to kick off, and always happy with Bliss Cross winning. And Asuka and Carrie can go do other things. Boneyard match was an amazing spectacle. Ladder match was amazing. Glad Strowman annihilated Goldberg. Now he can go and, to be honest, not come back. Gronk was okay as a host. I disagree with that. Zayn versus Bryan was decent as well.
WrestleMania doesn't need a host.
No, it really doesn't.
It really doesn't. I mean, when Alexa Bliss was host, that kind of made sense because she couldn't get involved and she was a massive sort of personality.
Even then,
but
doesn't need it.
It doesn't need it, but it makes more sense than just getting some
just don't have
NFL
one.
reject. Is he a reject? I don't know. Maybe he's a legend.
He did it when he was Super Bowl.
3 times Super Bowl.
3 times.
I don't bloody know. I literally know the only the American footballer I know is the one who kisses his kids on the lips.
Wait,
Who's
what?
that?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Does he kiss his kids on the lips?
Yeah, it's weird, like lingering kisses as well.
Because I think Titus O'Neil does that as well. There was that weird Raw. Do you remember when
Oh,
he
God,
kissed his
Titus
son on his
O'Neil.
lip?
Guarantee Donald Trump does it with tongues to his daughter.
Oh,
Politics again, Brett. Pipe
Move
down.
on.
Okay. All right. So that is the end of WWE WrestleMania 36 Night 1, or our review of it anyway. We will be back in our next episode to talk about Night 2. That's going to come out on Friday. I think we're going to go for Friday. Maybe Thursday. Who knows? We'll
Ambitious
see.
at my editing speed.
We'll see when we fancy doing the editing, basically. But if people want to get in touch, Brett, in between then, to criticise your opinion of the Undertaker match, what should they do?
If you're going to agree with me, you can send your emails to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. And if you want to say that Brett is on the money, then you can get us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We are at Hardest Part Pod.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you to everybody who listened. And until next episode, it's goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye to you, Sam.
I want to say a special thanks to Brett for being the most controversial on this podcast this week.
I know, that's
It's refreshing, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Goodbye, John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye, Brett.
Goodbye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.